Decks to look at, so let's get to it, because we got a lot to look at here. I assure you. Okay, let us see what's this one. Oh, yay. It is my Muse Tarot, my indie edition. So pretty, oh my goodness. Did I bring the guidebook? I did bring the guidebook because I bought it separately. The box is in the States with my parents, so I'll be getting that at some point when I go back for a little spell. All right, those are the backs. You guys know all about them. They're now mass market produced by Hay House. And I was like actually starting to miss this deck when I didn't have it, when I couldn't just go get it when I'm ready to look at it. So it's nice that it's back. The moon. Super excited for Chris Ann's next tarot deck. I think it's called the Peculiar Creatures Tarot. I'm very, very excited about that project. Okay, Eight of Voices. Traditionally, Eight of Swords. All right. As I mentioned before, for time's sake, oh, it's gorgeous. Queen of Emotions, Queen of Cups. I'm going to keep it moving, but this is one that I needed to have come here. It needed to happen, so it did. And it made it. And I'm excited. I've been missing it. Some decks, it's like you don't miss it till you can't play with it. So it's kind of what I've been going through with some of these decks. But like I said, the priority for me was bringing my working decks first, which is what traveled with me on the plane, like I mentioned in part 1. So yeah, I'm going to put that to the side so I can play with that later. Let's see what's here. So my working decks have been with me this entire time because I work with them. But these were the next runners up. The remaining decks, oh, I'm happy this came. The remaining decks that are in the States with my parents are either likely mass market or they're ones that they are still near and dear to me, and I am going to bring some back. I'm thinking of a couple. But many of them are mass market, but there was a couple that were really in heavier boxes, heavier cards, heavier situations. So I was like, okay, I'll get that on the next go back. This is the Business Class Tarot. And here's the guidebook. I actually packed the guidebook with it because to me, this along with the deck is what really makes this deck really work. And I'm not afraid to use the guidebook with this deck. Usually business readings for myself, but yeah, I did use it a couple of times for coworker readings, like when I was working in the traditional setting. We would use this deck right before I moved on. Brand manager. I like this deck a lot. Three of Cups traditionally, or brand 3. So it's a cool deck, and like I said, I planned on incorporating this more in my professional client readings. I'm even thinking of a particular kind of reading setting I want to use it in, so I'm very happy that it's here. I knew that the readings that I was going to be doing when I first moved out here were going to probably be hotline readings to just kind of keep that going, keep my reading, what is it? Can't even say, but get that muscle of reading for others up. So those readings aren't usually business oriented, and my regulars were the ones who I read for while I was making the transition from the States to here. So I knew this one could be, I didn't have to make a move right away with that one. What I mean is that it didn't need to come in the suitcase. It could come in the next shipment to me. Oh, this is a deck that my sister got me, and it is a Spanish deck. And oh my gosh, I hope I have brought the guidebook, because knowing me, I probably didn't. But I did do an unboxing. I'm pretty sure. I can't. The name escapes me, but I know it's a Bruja deck. So it's really special to me because my sister knows how much I love cards, and when she was traveling for her job, she would travel around the world, and she went to Spain a couple of times, and she saw this deck and got it for me. And it actually is really accurate. Now, granted, I'm slowly but surely learning Spanish, but what I would do is with my Google Translate app, just kind of hover with my phone over the guidebook, and it would just say it like in plain speak. And sometimes I just intuitively look at the image and the keywords I understand. So, I mean, not all is lost on me with regards to Spanish. Anyways, I'm gonna keep going, but it's quite a special deck for a number of reasons. But again, I had to prioritize working decks above everything else, even above sentimental decks, because of the fact that I just didn't have the weight capacity to travel with a bunch of decks. And yeah, so there's that. But she's back with me. All right, moving on. Okay, this is the Sacred Symbols Oracle. I actually really, really like this deck, and I like this edition. I know there's different editions now that have a whole new look. So I'm like, well, I'm glad I got the one I got, because I think I was at a point where the old one was about to be retired and the new ones were coming out. And I was like, no, I'm going to get the old one. Time. And that's what I did. And the guidebook is really good. And like I said, I pray that I have the wherewithal to bring it, but I'm thinking not. Because I think some of my logic was to keep many of the guidebooks with the boxes, but some of the guidebooks I did bring, so I didn't follow my logic all the time, sadly. For me, power. And I have more of a modern aesthetic when it comes to decks, so it's nice to have an oracle that has that, clean lines, poppy colors, colors that pop. Modern symbolism, soulmate. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I did an unboxing of this one too, as you guys will know. You well know. So I'm gonna try to keep these videos short and bite-sizable, I think. The first one we did was 20 minutes. And that's a nice sweet spot, but I have to get my daughter ready for bed. And I have a client reading I want to do once she does go to bed, and then I will probably resume this tomorrow. Because, yeah, I think that would be best. All right. Oh, this is my indie version of the Dream Keepers Tarot. Here's the backs. This was recently picked up by a mass market publisher, US Games. I'm not probably going to get that one because this one is just fine. I'm not called to necessarily. I know that it's just as beautiful, the mass market, from what I can tell by images, but I'm not really now going to be buying mass market versions unless I know for a fact I'm going to use that mass market for client readings, like I did with the Light Seers Tarot. I had the independently produced one, and then I bought backup copies of, and I went through them too. I use the Light Seers all the time for client readings. All right, so this is a dreamy, dreamy deck. Really beautiful. Really beautiful. Oh, look at the Chariot. Oh, gorgeous. All right, I'm gonna hurry because, like I said, I don't even know what. Oh, I got 10 more minutes. I have a little time. I just know that she's gonna be coming in here, and she likes to sleep in my room, of course. Okay, so there's that deck. I'm curious to see what this one is. Oh, this is, oh my gosh. I pray that somewhere in the mix is my Antique Anatomy Tarot, and if not, I may go ahead and bite the bullet and just buy the latest mass market edition, because I hear the latest mass market has better cardstock, I heard. But I really actually took a liking to the one that came out mass market, the one that people complained about the cardstock. I actually ended up liking the stock a lot because I like to riffle shuffle. But here's the Oracle of Oddities. I'd say all that because of this deck. I'm so happy it's here. Okay, weird thing about me, I am not fond of the chakra cards. Just not. I know that I totally, when people talk about chakras, I'm totally into it. It totally makes sense, but it's not something that I'm necessarily called to really delve into. And whenever they come up in a reading, I'm like it falls flat for me. So I take them all out. Took them all out. All of them. And I keep them like this. So that way I keep them with the deck, but away. I rarely do that with decks. I'm more actually the opposite, where I like to include all of the cards, even like extra chariots or extra moon cards. I will keep them all, but not that. But the Oracle of Oddities, I love this deck so much. It's actually a combination of 3, where I think it was like 33 per deck, and then when you combine them. And I haven't kept up with what the latest is going on with this creator. I thought I heard there was other things being created. I just, during my death year, I was really trying to have tunnel vision and not look at all the decks, and just appreciate the ones I had. Easier said than done, but I knew that if I started digging around, I think I did for a minute Google about what was going on, that there was something happening with the creator in terms of creating another deck. But I don't know. I forgot. It might even be on my wish list, whatever the deck was, but I haven't even looked at my wish list in a long time. There's just been no time to look at it because I'm settling in to where I'm living now, and really just focusing on my business and my family and forging new friendships. So that keeps me really busy. So the decks my working decks are just the ones I consult all the time now. And yeah, I can't believe I'm one of those people. I'm still a collector at heart, but I can't believe I'm one of those people that are like, oh, I don't really know what's going on. I used to be in the know. Now I'm not so much. But I might have to say, in this case, ignorance is bliss because, well, I'll just say I won't. It makes it easier for me not to be looking around. Now, this one's easy enough because it was in its bag. This is the first edition Darkness of Light Tarot, and I knew it was here because I saw the bag. And I also packed in that box the guidebook that I had printed and put a spiral bound, which is what I wish more guidebooks were like, because then I could just, you know, flip it around like that, you know. That's just me. I wish that you could have guidebooks more like that. I've done that with some Oracle deck guidebooks that are PDF. I print it and take it to Kinko's, and yeah, that's what I do when I can. So here are the backs. There's been a few editions printed since, but again, it was like there was a point I was planning on getting some of the other editions. I think they're on the 3rd edition. I don't know, it might be more now. But then I was like, again, really? Let's see how much you use this one. Let's see how much you appreciate this one before you start adding all these different editions. And I'm glad that I did that, because honestly, it was already enough to have to figure out what to do with the decks that I had, like, which is running at the, I think I want to say like 280 range, 280 decks. So it was like, I have to be selective now. And that's not, you know, there's people who have hundreds and hundreds of decks, and I think that's great. I want to go hang out at their house and just sit and go through decks all day. That's what I want to do. But for me, in the lifestyle I'm trying to live, where I just want to kind of explore and live abroad and see what else is out there in the world, having a bunch of decks to move around is challenging, and I'm protective of them. I want them with me. I hate that there's some in the States away from me. So, I don't know. It's the thing, guys. It's the thing. So, we're going to stop here because that's all the ones I put on the table. I see now that this is going to be an ongoing process. And I'm going to get busy with my nighttime routine and then resume this back tomorrow. This will give me a chance to upload a couple of these little videos, and I'm excited about it. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like the video. Also share it everywhere. And then don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. All right, take good care. I'll be back for, I think we're on part 3.